Music and spirituality. Both are profound expressions of human experience. Both are universal languages that transcend cultural barriers, connecting people on deeper level. And both have the ability to transport people to another level of consciousness. Our guest today is a soulful singer I met during 𝙎𝙤𝙣𝙧𝙨 program at Isha Ashram, an enchanting and beautiful soul whose voice resonates with the essence of devotion. Get ready for a podcast filled with melodic magic and heartfelt conversations. Namaskaram, Neha Akka. How are you?
Namaskaram, Akka. All good. And thank you for having me here.
First of all, many congratulations to you for your debut as a lead playback singer in the TV serial Yashomati Maiya Ke Nandlala. If
Yeah,
possible, can you sing few lines for us from that title track?
definitely, Akka. जसोई न कान्हा तू खींचे है मैया कहलोरी सुनाओ तो सूंगा मैया जो जागे न सोए कभी वही तो है कृपाला यशोमती मैया के नंद लाला यशोमती मैया के नंद लाला यशोमती मैया के नंद लाला यशोमती मैया के नंद लाला.
Wow, that was so mesmerizing. I think it's a very good start. As far as I know, you have sung for many other TV serials also, which includes Teri Meri Doniya, which is a very famous daily soap opera. Even I watched that. Also, you have sung on the platform of Kaun Banega Crorepati. When did music become a passion for you, and when did you decide that you want to pursue music as your career?
So Akka, as like I would just like to like brief thoda intro mein just to give a history that I don't come from a family of musicians. So I'm fortunate that I was very young and my parents saw that talent and my teachers saw the talent and they actually made me join a class. So I always had a passion for music, but I always felt that okay, since the field is so competitive, it's not something that I would like to step into. It's something that I will continue. And this was my thought process till my 11th standard. I remember there was a reality show happening in Ahmedabad when I was in my 11th standard, and it was Darshan Rawal's show. He was the judge there, and I just auditioned, and I love auditioning. So I auditioned and I went and I sang, and that was the very first time that I was in a live performance with 15,000 live audience in front of me. So that was it for me. Like I knew who is gonna win. I knew who's gonna get the prize because it's all fixed in shows like that. But as I stepped onto the stage and I saw that crowd and I knew that I have got only 3 minutes to perform here. And that was it. Like that moment I think was so special. Like I enjoyed every second of it. And I knew that I'm not winning. But for me that was the prize that I am singing for these many people and they're loving it and I am enjoying my performance. And I think I after that episode happened, I didn't win. I was on stage and I was the happiest person in the when we all were standing for the prize ceremony, and my parents were laughing in the corner because they could see that clearly she didn't get any prize, but she's the happiest on the stage. And I remember coming down and telling them that night that for the very first time I felt that for those 3 minutes I felt fully alive. I was present and I was enjoying what I was doing. And I think that was the turning point where my way of looking at music changed. I'm like, this is not just something that I do apart from studies or I have interest and respect for it, but I don't think so. It's something that I will just leave for pursuing something else. This is something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
What I know is you have done your post graduation into English literatures, right? So, how did you balance music and your studies, and how did you decide that okay, I have to keep aside my studies and then focus on music?
So, Akka, like I keep discussing this, and I till date I feel that a lot of people, when they are pursuing anything, any side hobby, when it comes to studies, they just leave it when boards are approaching, 12th is approaching, graduation is approaching. For me, I think it was very natural that even during my 12th board, I was continuing my classes. 12th board, I was continuing my exams in classical. So it was always going hand in hand. When I went to Mumbai also to pursue English literature, my sole aim to be in Mumbai was to understand the city and explore music and more fest, so that I get to be there at the same time I get to experience. And I'm also doing a degree. And again, I took up literature because it gave me the freedom to actually express what I want to write, rather than just, going into the technicalities of any subject. So that was the reason that English literature happened. But it was always very easy to balance both the things, because I knew that this is something that actually settles me down. And in that perspective, I never saw it as a side hobby which can just take a hold while I'm studying. It always went hand in hand. And it was after I completed my literature, I understood, like, this is it now. Like, everybody is going for PG and MA, but this is what I really want to do. And if I don't stop my studies right now and jump into the field of music, then I think it's going to be too late by the time I decide to actually step into it. So that is when I took the step, and I took a drop year, not actually a drop from the college, but a kind of a for 1 year I told everyone around me that let me figure this out, and that's how music happened and freelancing started.
So, when did you start taking coaching for music?
I was 10 years old when I actually started learning Indian classical. So I used to sing because my sister is
Oh.
a good singer. She has a very beautiful voice. So she used to sing in her school days. So as a younger sister, I was copying everything that she was doing. And it was just in my 10th standard, my music teacher, she happened to be a really close friend of my mother. And she's like, I think she needs to start learning. And I was very reluctant because I felt that all my time after school, which is for my which I keep for my extra things, will be gone in a class. So I think I started at 10th, when I was 10 years old, but it took me 2 3 years to actually understand the gravity of what I'm learning. Because after that, even if somebody would come and tell me, no, that okay, fine, Neha, now done, leave it for your studies, I knew I'm not leaving it. So it took me 2 3 years to understand that what is it exactly. Though those initial days were like a tuition. Okay, I'm going every day. After school, I'm going to a class. But those after 2 3 years, I understood what is the gravity of it and what exactly this field is all about. And that's when I actually started respecting it and understanding that what classical is exactly.
And when did you start performing on stage?
On stage, Akka, so as I mentioned, it all started at school. So I was always stage friendly. That is something that I'm really fortunate. Like, I feel fortunate that I was encouraged by people around me. So I never had that stage fright. So if somebody tells me I have to go on stage, I'll jump off. That used to be the scene for me. And I remember I was maybe my first stage performance was when I was 11 or 12 years old. Soon after I started learning my classical. So there is a fest kind of thing that happens here in my hometown during Diwali. It till date it happens. So that time they were asking if there's any, they have a name called Yuva Kalakar, if they have any youngsters coming up, or people from that category coming up and performing. So I remember going there and performing. That was my first stage performance where I was in front of a lot of people. And since then, yeah, that continued. But I think the first stage was the school events, the annual functions, and that's how I got used to of being on stage.
During our conversation at ashram, you told me that your grandfather was a spiritual person. Is this the reason why you jumped into spirituality?
No, Akka, on the contrary, I feel like I never saw my grandfather, and I was born a year later. when he passed away. So from my family, I get to know that okay, what kind of a person he was, and he was always like this very chill person, going all out there, doing all sort of spiritual practices, and going to places to meet people. Like, well, literally, he used to write letters that I am at Rishikesh right now. Don't worry, I'm all fine and good. And the family was also very chill. So I think, and that's how it was passed on to the next generation, to my father's generation, and my uncles, and everybody is into spirituality. Like, they all are doing their own things. Like, they all are into meditation. And I always, when I used to look at them, I was always used to feel that this is not something that I can do. Because sitting still was a big task, and I felt that what to do with my eyes closed. Like, I'll have thousand thoughts flying, and what to do with it then. So I always felt that this is not me. Like, I can sit, I can be a part of it, but this is not something that is my calling, or this is something that I would like to join. So I was always away, and very much happy also of being away with it. So even I was surprised when inner engineering happened, and when I actually started practicing Kriya, and I'm like, okay, I always felt that I am not from the clan when it comes to meditation. But then I understood that maybe, it was in the family, it was in the generation. So maybe that contributed to it.
So tell us how inner engineering happened to you.
Again, it happened in the most unexpected way. And as I just mentioned, like after my graduation, I took a year out that now I'm gonna actually explore. And I always believe that for something to fall into place, you need to declutter the space first so that the right things come your way. So after my graduation, I took time to actually understand that what and how I wanted to go ahead with music, what I really wanted to do, and to actually get into the field. But there was something that I always felt like during my graduation also. I enjoyed studying, I loved literature, but I always felt that, something isn't right. Like something or the other used to disturb, or something unsettling was there, a factor in my life, that even the friends who used to stay with me, or my family, only my close family could understand that, okay, she gets impacted really easily. And especially in a field like music, you have to be a little unaffected by the other things happening around you, to be in that zone, to enjoy what you're doing. So I think during that time only, I remember my parents were taking a walk outside after dinner, and I was just sitting and I was surfing through. So I knew about Sadhguru, and I used to watch his videos, but I was not hooked like constantly, like this is something that I want to do. And I remember out of nowhere, inner engineering ad I saw on my screen, and I'm like, this is something that I can do, those first seven steps, like how it used to happen. So I enrolled first, which is very much again on the contrary, I'm a person who will go and tell my parents first, take their permission, and then enroll. I enrolled first, and then I went out and I'm like, listen, I've enrolled, and from tomorrow I'm starting this 7-day course, and let me see how this goes, and I'll wake up early tomorrow morning because I want to do it with full dedication and everything. So they, I still remember, they told me, like, as far as you're waking up early, we have no problem, like we'll be the happiest if you're getting up on time. And that's when I did IECA 7 sessions all together. And I think those like how it happens, no, like first 7 sessions, and then you have to select and book a slot for initiation day. So I just, in those 7 classes only, or those 7 sessions only, I could see that a lot of my questions were getting answered. Like, even I was not aware that I'm looking out for these questions. But after that, all my problems, all my worries that I used to carry, that okay, how is this gonna happen, or this is happening, that is going wrong, I kind of felt that it's too much, like I'm getting into the details of things, like it's not that complex like I'm trying to make it look. And those 7 days actually impacted me in a lot. In a bigger picture, I would say that those 7 days actually make me come back to the reality that okay, well, it's not that complex, life is not complex, it's as simple as possible, only if you look at it in a certain way. And then I could not wait for the initiation. I had heard about Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, and I wanted to get initiated as soon as possible. And I remembered during the next initiation was during December, and I wanted to enroll for it, but I had an audition in the same time, and I was very much confused of what to do. I can't delay it, and at that time, because it was just soon after COVID, the sessions were not this spontaneous, so they used to take time. So I didn't want to delay it any further because I just felt that now I want to, like, I can't wait to learn more. And that didn't happen because I had an audition scheduled, and I didn't want it to go into initiation process or into learning something new with half-hearted intention that I don't know whether I'll be able to attend or not. And then for me, I remember the initiation happened on the 13th of February, and finally it happened. And I was like, I was totally in another zone. I was like, okay, finally it's happening now. And I remember 13th Feb, I got initiated into Shambhavi Mudra Kriya. 14th Feb, everybody was celebrating Valentine's Day, but I got my gift a day prior only, and I understood, okay, what is this? Like, this is something that I was missing on something very major if I wouldn't have done the course.
So for many people, initiation is a very subtle process, and for many people, it's a blast. So without going into details, can you tell us how was your experience? Was it subtle or was it a blast?
Akka, till date, I find it hard to express like how initiation was for me. As everyone, I also wanted to do it in person, but I'm amazed how it happened for me online and how beautifully it happened. All I could say, like, just to sum this whole thing, I would just say one thing, that before initiation, I had a lot of respect for him, for what he's doing, what he's offering. But soon after initiation, the devotion came.
Many people have this assumption that, offline initiation is better than online initiation. Although even I got initiated online only. It was the first online initiation batch, and I got initiated in that. It was on 10th January 2021. So you also got initiated online only. So what would
Yeah.
you like to tell people about the online initiation? Are they better or equally effective uh, as the offline initiation, or like how it is?
Equally affected, yes, very much, Akka, because as you also mentioned, like, you are from an online batch. I always, like, whenever I'm introducing and talking about I put that in highlight, online batch, just to let them know that it is as powerful as it is in any other in-person session. And how is that possible? That even amazes me till date. But yes, since I've gone through the program, if we just follow the guidelines like that we have to follow anyways in an in-person program, what is shared with us is very much important and is of very much like, we have to check those boxes for going ahead with the initiation. And I think if we just keep that sincerity even on an online program, and we maintain all the atmosphere that is mentioned and told us by the volunteers, I think then it is as you are with anybody in an in-person, as it's as powerful as that. It's just that you're not in a hall setup with so many people, you're just in your own. I was in my drawing room so you're just in your own space, but it was that powerful. So the only thing remain, like, it's just the same. If we just follow everything that is being told to us with that sincerity, I think there's no difference to it.
We all know that there is so much competition in music industry. So did this competition ever take a toll on you?
So Akka, competition, especially in a field like music, it's always very competitive, cutthroat, to the point. Who is doing what? Who's doing better than you? So I won't say that competition was something that was actually bringing me down, but anything related to me, like, I used to take my performances very seriously. Like, am I doing better than I used to do or not? So छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती हैं, like, some things work out for you, some things don't work out for you. That used to really impact me a lot, and it's very important to stay sane in this industry. Otherwise, it's like a roller coaster ride, and it can literally make you go insane. So yes, it did. As I mentioned, that I felt that I'm taking a year off from studies to explore music, but now when I look back, I feel that more than music was anyways a part of my life, and it's gonna be there. But one thing that actually came into my life and has changed my perspective was IE, and how IE impacted me, because I felt at balance after inner engineering happened. I felt anything that was the turmoil inside me that is constantly there when you are in this field out there, seeing so much competition and unable to figure out which way to go because many things are opening up. That turmoil kind of settled when IE happened. And I just understood one thing, that we all have our own pace and our own way of doing. And rather than competing with somebody or some different individual, it was more about conquering everything and anything that was happening within me, which is making me go negative or, making me demotivated. So I feel I and especially those 7 sessions that I attended until the initiation, I could see those changes coming in me, that every time I was going to compulsively react like I used to take a step back and I'm like, no, I shouldn't. Like, this is what it is, right? Like, I should not react. I should hold back and see, like, how can I respond to the situation? How can I look at it from a different perspective? It's okay if somebody's saying something. I need not feel bad about it, right? So that impacted, and I remember. This is something that I could see happening in my life. My immediate family could see my change in perspective, because they could see that I was handling all the situations very, very much. Like in totality, they could see a difference, that she's handling everything really well. Like she's going through all of this gracefully. Like she's not coming here one moment and saying, "Oh, this happened and that happened," and then she's balancing. She's okay in her zone. And I think my even few of my friends also could notice that soon after my initiation, during that time I was hooked to this one song, which is Shiv Kailasho Ke Vasi, and I was just constantly I was listening to it, and I wanted to cover it for Mahashivratri. So I was looking out for, how to make it happen. And soon after my initiation, I recorded the song, because Mahashivratri was in March and my initiation happened in February. So I quickly recorded it so that I could share it out there with my friends and family and make a video and upload it on my YouTube. And I remember one of my friend, my closest friend, she happened to call me and she's like, I can sense a lot of, peace and a lot of calm in your voice when I hear you sing now. And I've been listening to you. She was with me in Mumbai also. So she's like, I have seen you in all those phases. I have seen you and I have heard you like live a lot of time. But what I sense here and how you sound in this particular song, I feel something has made a difference. And for me, I feel that I in anything that is offered during inner engineering is the base thing that you need to survive in any field. Like if you're balanced and at peace here within yourself, then you can actually go out, juggle and do everything very gracefully, and like need not to get into the extra drama that is happening out there. So it just makes you like, it's like a bubble, like a lubrication. They say that you just go through everything in a go, and gracefully you come out of it. You don't get caught up in between the things that are not important to you. So I think that has come into life. Like you're very much settled and very much at peace. At the same time, trying out new things, going out there, looking for, okay, what next, but not to compete or to come or to look superior than somebody else, but to just know that is there something positive change happening every day? Am I doing something new? Am I learning something new? Am I trying out what I wanted to try, and giving my 100% to whatever I do?
How was your experience of singing in front of Sadhguru Sannidhi?
So recently I happened to attend Sadhguru Sanidhi process in Jaipur, and there when I got a chance to sing Shiv Kailasho Ke Vasi, I think as a singer there can't be a bigger offering than singing something as precious as something which was with me during initiation, and to offer and to uh, just present it to him. And I think it was one of the most surreal moment when I got to know that, oh, I can sing. And then I sang, and I didn't wanted it to stop. I just wanted to keep going on. And it was like a full circle for me, that from singing it soon after initiation to actually singing it in front of Sadhguru Sanidhi in that premises, that was very, very special.
Can you sing few lines from that song for us?
Sure, sure, Akka, anytime. Just need a reason for it. तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, अंत पे अंत तेरी माया, ओ भोले बाबा, अंत पे अंत तेरी माया, शिव कैलाशों के वासी, दौड़ी धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना, शंकर संकट हरना.
Oh my God. I seriously got goosebumps because even this song is my favorite, and you sang it really, really well. I was just drawn.
Thank you so much, Akka.
So music is a field where you respect your guru so much. You have so much reverence for your guru. Same stands for spirituality also. We have so much reverence for our guru. So do you find any similarity between both your gurus, your spiritual guru and your music guru, and how do you connect with them?
Yes, Akka. So I'll start off with the with something that I very recently noticed about my guru and some similarity that I saw in both of them. I'll start off with that, and then I'll go to the um, uh, the actual serious one to it. So, Malab, it's surprising me till date that they both have the birthdays very much near to each other. Like my Ustad, my musical guru, his birthday is on 2nd September, Sadhguru 3rd September. They both are bike lovers. They both are very much in love with what they do and everything that they do. And something that I, after BSP, when I came back home, I noticed one thing in that he always sits with his left leg folded, and only his right leg is touching the ground, and that's how he sits and puts the
Oh,
harmonium to him. So that is something that I recently noticed, and I'm like, okay, this is something that even Sadhguru does. So yeah, these were a few things, and then again, like as a lot of times Sadhguru also mentions that a true guru makes it really hard for you to stick around. At the same time, you can't leave him. So I think that's very much true for him also. He keeps putting me in trouble when it comes to, trying hard compositions. Like you feel like running away that I'm not attempting it today. At the same time, you just can't leave because you know he's doing it for your good. He's trying to make you walk the hard terrain. So yeah, that's something that I find familiar between both of them. And genuinely answering the question, Akka, I would say that um, when I started learning music, I always I've always looked at my guru or ustad as somebody that you give your unquestionable devotion to. So even till date, if my ustad is scolding me for anything that I have not even done or attempted, or anything that I actually presented well, but हो सकता है वो भूल गए. So even if he's telling me something that I have not done, I still admit and I say, yeah, sorry, sir, I'll not do it again. Because I feel that, there's no question with your guru. Like you're just all out there. Like you are with him through anything. Like he's scolding, you are there. He's appreciating, you're there. And he's not talking to you, just teaching, you're just sitting there. And you're always waiting, okay, what he has to offer and what you can offer is just respect and devotion. So that happens, and I think it's very much similar to what we go through when we go through any spiritual process, and especially how the programs happened at Isha. And that is quite similar, that I feel that they are the actual GPS, the guru positioning system, because both the terrains are unknown to us. And whether it be spirituality or whether it be music, in music we particularly say that you can't see the sur, you can't see the notes. So it's only through, through your practice or through some perception you get to hit them, and that's how you strike a note, and that's how you touch a sur. और वो कहते हैं हम सुर सही लगा. So वो कैसे लगा, even we don't know, because something you can draw and you can tell ना कि ये सही है, draw the line like this. But in music you can only
Hmm.
just explain and the other person has to grasp it. And I think it's same is for spirituality, something that you can't see, but you know it exists. You get to touch it with the help of your guru, you get to be there with that guiding light. And I think they are the GPS in those unknown terrains, because in both the fields, without them we'll not be knowing that where to head. So they're always guiding us to the right path, and I think that's how I look at it.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful to know this. I mean, I never thought about this in this way. How you explain spirituality and music in a very, in a like parallelly. It was very, very wonderful. Nowadays, youngsters are engrossed in social media too much. They want more and more people to follow them, and if people don't, they get frustrated. So, has it happened to you also? And if so, how did you come out of it? What was your take on it?
Yes, Akka, it's very much evident. It actually gets onto you. The number game, the social media platform game is really, really out there and strong. And like I remember for a really long time, I was away from all these things. Like when my generation shifted to Instagram and Instagram was a new thing, I was still staying back at Facebook and YouTube and uploading my videos only till there. And then everybody used to give me a major, like my friends used to give me a major FOMO, that you don't know what is happening on Instagram. There's so many singers out there, they're posting about it, and you can also gain good followership there. Why are you not making an account? And till the time I was not there, I was very much unbothered that okay, this doesn't matter, it's okay. And then when I decided to get on and make my own page or open my own ID on Instagram, I went with a very clear intention that this is only for music. Like I'll only post and share anything and everything around my music, and agenda will be to share it with as much people as possible. So for some people it works out, for some people it doesn't. And it actually start getting onto you when you see that you are putting out content there, but not getting responses. So I would say that I have also been in that phase, and I think this is my graduation time. Again, when I was talking about like there's so much competition, there's so much happening around you, that it starts getting onto you that it's not because somebody is doing better than you, it's because you feel that maybe I lack something, it's something that is not working out for me, something is wrong. And again, I would say that it took me, like now when I reflect, I feel that these are the areas where I've improved, because from there I was just restricting and making it like a, एक वो होता है, एक hustle बना दिया था मैंने, that okay, this here only, this is gonna happen and this has to work out. But I think a lot of things work out when we lift that burden from those places. So my YouTube started working for me when I didn't expect it to. And my Instagram is decent, I would say. I'll not say that it has grown or blown away, nothing like that has happened. But I am at peace with it right now. Like I used to restrict myself a lot pehle, that okay, this can not go on gram, this is not music related, so this will not go out. Now I have made it my digital scrapbook. So anything and everything that I feel like I want to share out there with people, I just post it there. If there's anything that I want to articulate or I want to share with anybody else, I share it out there. So it's not just about music. I think it's about Neha now. That what she feels like sharing, she's sharing. And it's not just to gain followers or anything, but to keep a record or to share with as many people as you can who are currently following you. So that number game का जो load है, that is very true, and it actually gets onto you. But if as just mentioned, that if you just lift it up, then I think it's just another platform where you just go out to share something nice and something positive, rather than to take the negativity and burden and come back into your actual life.
I hope youngsters will you know, learn from what you're saying. Okay. So, Sadhguru talks a lot about volunteering,
Yeah.
and you're also a volunteer now. So, I want to know what is your take on volunteering? What is volunteering for you?
So, Akka, like anybody else, like when I hear and see other people sharing their volunteering experience, especially when we do the class setup and the 7-day classes happen here and anywhere, so we generally hear their experiences, that how it was to volunteer, and they always say that we never thought we'll end up here. And the same was with me when I actually for the first time saw everybody volunteering. I didn't understand. I'm like, how can somebody, in today's time it's so hard to get somebody's time. I think time is money for people. How is everyone, like not just one but so many of them, turning up to make a program possible for us? So I used to wonder that they are made differently. Like I can't relate with them, that how they are doing it, how are they pulling it off, what is calling them here. I only understood it when I did my first volunteering here in Udaipur, when the first batch happened of inner engineering. And it was like I should say it's a good addiction. Like once you start volunteering, you just can't stop yourself every day. Even my family was amazed. She wakes up at 4 and she's getting ready and she's leaving. She doesn't do that for even her own work. Like what is making her wake up in the morning? Like I'm putting alarm, I'm waking up in just 2-3 hours of sleep, because usually I work at night, so my recording and everything happen at night, but I'm waking up on time. I'm waking up and I'm going out and volunteering. Now I understand that why he says that it's totally different, and it does break your limitations. I had a lot of limitations, I believe, and a lot of things that I still don't do at home. I don't know how and when. I just go out there and I volunteer and I do all those tasks. When I come back and I tell my mom, she's like, "Why don't you do that at home?" And I'm like, "I don't know what made me do it even there." So a lot of limitations that you put on yourself, like this is the something I can't do, or I'm not good at it, or this doesn't happen from me, या ये कोई और कर ले तो better होगा because I'm bad at it. Everything happens in volunteering, and I think that is what it is. Like constantly keeps you on the edge, and you keep breaking the limitations, and after a point you understand that it's all in the head, and we can actually break all the limitations that we have around us. So it's a total different experience. Every class, every volunteering experience is different, so we can't even place it in an order that how this one is better or how this one was. It's totally different, and end of the day you can just look at and just feel amazed that okay, how did it happen?
So, this brings us to our rapid fire round. So, I'll be asking you a few questions, and you have to answer as rapidly as you can.
Okay.
So, our first question is, does meditation help you manage performance anxiety? If so, how?
Yes, it does. It just takes away the again the pressure of being better and looking or sounding a little better than somebody else. It's just about being present and enjoying your performance and coming out of it. So it just takes that away, because then you know that this is just me performing and having a good time. So it just takes away the extra load which is attached.
How do you balance the demands of a singing career with maintaining a regular meditation practice?
I would say it's pretty easy, Akka. In fact, it's like a proportional thing now. No, sadhana means a little unsettled thing happening here and there. So, to manage that, sadhana is very important. So, the priorities are pretty much set. Like, this has to happen, and then everything else falls in place.
Can you share a memorable experience where meditation positively impacted your musical performance?
Yes, it did, Akka. A lot of time you are in that zone and you don't realize that okay, like people called it zoned out, but a lot of time in music this happens when you're performing. You are actually taken away by the performance, and for a second or two you just forget that okay, what that was. But meditation actually helped me reflect on that and see that a lot of time I could sense that on stage I'm performing, and for a second or two I just felt like it's just me and my room, and I'm just singing my heart out. And a lot of time I think that happens while meditation also. Like you're very much conscious and out there and present about things happening around you, but just here and there it just there are moments where you feel कि, okay, I zoned out for a while, but that was fine and that was nice. And I think that happens a lot in music also. You are in charge, you are in control, but you're also, a little carefree, and that's where the actual person, or I would say the personality, unleashes. And that's what people love to see.
What advice would you give to the aspiring singers interested in meditation?
They should, I think, because I feel music is already so much connected to spirituality. It's just that because we have different terminology, we have a different process, and it's a different stream. But I feel every musician will feel that connection, that how intervened both the things are, and how we look at music is nothing different from how spirituality is. And उसको भी हम साधना कहते हैं, इसको भी हम साधना कहते हैं. And both the things are something that, as I mentioned in my previous answer, that you can just feel. It's not something that you can touch and you can tell. So I think every musician is already halfway there. So coming a full way there and actually going through a meditation would be like a cherry on the top. Like you actually get to experience the whole thing.
Okay, so our last question of rapid fire round is, can you share a song that you feel resonates particularly well with Isha or Sadhguru?
Yes, I can. Actually, there are a lot of songs from Isha, Sounds of Isha only, which resonate a lot with Sadhguru. But very strangely, like I say, that like I mentioned pehle bhi, कि there are ways of looking at a song differently. Like I can interpret a song differently, and somebody else can. And very recently, this one famous song was released, and I think that I connected with Sadhguru, and that is Tum Kya Mile from Rocky and Rani Ki Prem Kahani. And this one line I
Yeah,
feel fits him really well for all his for all the volunteers out there. I think they can feel it. So I'll dedicate those lines. तुम क्या मिले, तुम क्या मिले, हम न रहे हम, तुम क्या मिले, दिल में मेरे ऐसे खिले, फागुन के मौसम, तुम क्या मिले, तुम क्या मिले, तुम क्या मिले, तुम क्या मिले, तुम क्या मिले. So I think this pretty much sums up what we feel, like how he came into life and took everything extra from us and just left us with what actually is meaningful.
that was really, really wonderful. And this brings us to the end of the podcast. And I must say, this podcast is one of the best podcasts I would say that I have recorded. It was so insightful, and I hope this conversation between you and me is going to inspire and uplift many people who are connected with music or spirituality, or who want to pursue music or spirituality. Thank you so much for connecting with us, Akka. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akka,
Namaskar.
for having me here. Namaskar.